Your dog might not love you the way you think they do. Not because they're a bad dog, not because you've done anything obviously wrong, but because love between a dog and a human doesn't look the way most people assume it does. And the signs that something is off, they're very easy to miss. In this video, we'll show you 14 signs that your dog doesn't love you. And number 11 is the one that every owner definitely needs to know. This is behind the bark. Let's get into it. Sign 1. They don't come to you. You always go to them. Think about who initiates contact in your house. When you're sitting on the couch, does your dog come and settle near you? Or do you always cross the room to find them? When you walk into a room, do they look up? Do they shift position to be closer? Or do they stay exactly where they are, unbothered? Here's what that tells you. In canine social behavior, voluntary approach is one of the clearest indicators of attachment. Dogs who feel a secure bond with their owner seek proximity spontaneously. They don't need a reason. They come because being near you is where they want to be. A dog who never initiates, who is always found rather than finding you, is a dog who is comfortable in your home, but hasn't fully bonded to you as a person. There's a difference between a dog who lives with you and a dog who has chosen you. This sign is how you tell them apart. Sign 2. They don't make eye contact. You look at your dog. They look away. You try again. They glance at you for half a second and find something else to look at. You've probably told yourself they're just independent or distracted. Here's what's actually happening. A landmark study published in the journal Science found that mutual eye contact between dogs and their owners causes a measurable spike in oxytocin, the bonding hormone, in both species simultaneously. It's the same neurochemical response that fires between a mother and her newborn child. Dogs who are bonded to their owners hold that gaze. They seek it out. Soft, warm, deliberate eye contact is one of the primary ways a dog says, "I trust you." A dog who consistently avoids your eyes isn't being independent. Their nervous system hasn't registered you as safe enough to be that vulnerable with. The good news, and we'll come back to this, is that this one is fixable, faster than almost anything else on this list. Sign 3. They leave the room when you enter their space. You walk in, they walk out. Not dramatically, not obviously, just a quiet repositioning. They were settled somewhere, and somehow they always end up somewhere else when you arrive. This is one of the most misread signals in dog behavior. Owners almost always interpret it as independence, as the dog just preferring a different spot. But watch the pattern over a full day. Does your dog reliably move away when you enter their space? Do they choose rooms you're not in? Do they settle furthest from wherever you are? In canine social behavior, deliberate distance maintenance is a stress response. It means your presence is something they're managing, rather than something they're drawn to. They're not disinterested. They're telling you, in the only language they have, that something between you doesn't feel settled yet. Stay with me, because sign 4 is one that almost every owner gets completely backwards. Sign 4. They go stiff when you hug them. You wrap your arms around them, they go still. They don't pull away, they don't growl, they just hold their breath and wait for it to be over. And you've been reading that stillness as contentment. It isn't. A study published in Psychology Today analyzed over 250 photographs of humans hugging their dogs and examined the dog's body language in each image. In more than 80% of those photos, the dogs were showing at least one clear stress signal: ears pinned back, whites of the eyes visible, mouth clamped shut, head turned away. Dogs are not primates. Physical restraint, arms wrapped around their body, removing their ability to move, reads in the canine brain as a dominance signal, as something to be endured, not enjoyed. The dogs who hold still the longest aren't the most comfortable. They're the ones who've learned that struggling doesn't work. If your dog goes rigid when you hold them, they're not relaxing into your love. They're waiting for it to end. Sign 5. They don't greet you at the door. You come home, and they're just there. Or not even there. Still in the other room, unbothered, wandering over eventually like you've been gone 5 minutes, even though it's been 8 hours. Some owners brag about this. My dog is so chill, not a Velcro dog at all. Here's what the research actually says. Studies measuring oxytocin and cortisol levels in dogs during owner reunion found that bonded dogs show a clear physiological response to their owner's return: elevated heart rate before the door even opens, measurable hormonal shifts during the greeting itself. A dog who doesn't react to your return isn't calm. They're disconnected. Your arrival isn't the event it should be. And that absence of reaction is your dog telling you, in physiological terms, that the bond between you hasn't fully formed. The greeting at the door isn't just excitement, it's the biological signature of attachment. When it's missing, something is missing. Sign 6. They don't follow you between rooms. You get up and move to another room. Your dog doesn't move. You come back, they're exactly where you left them. You go upstairs, you come down. They didn't notice or didn't care. Dogs evolved over 15,000 years in close proximity to humans. Their entire social architecture is built around tracking their primary person. Where you go, they go. Not because they're anxious, because you are their anchor. And instinct says, keep the anchor in sight. Research into canine attachment behavior shows that dogs with a secure bond to their owner maintain what scientists call proximity seeking, a low-level background awareness of where their person is at all times. A dog who never tracks you, who stays put while you move through the house, is a dog whose attachment system hasn't fully activated. They know you, they live with you, but you haven't yet become their person. Sign 7. Their tail wags left, not right. This one you can actually test tonight. When your dog sees you and wags their tail, watch which direction it goes. Specifically, which side of their body the wagging favors. A study from the University of Trento found that dogs wag their tails with a right bias when they see someone they feel positively about: their owner, a familiar person, someone associated with safety. When they see someone or something that triggers uncertainty or stress, the wag shifts left. This asymmetry isn't random. It reflects activity in different hemispheres of the brain. Right-biased wagging indicates the left hemisphere is dominant, the side associated with approach, positive emotion, and social engagement. Left-biased wagging reflects right hemisphere dominance, the side associated with withdrawal, anxiety, and threat response. Your dog's tail is a neurological readout, and it's been telling you something specific every single time it moves. Sign 8. They refuse treats from your hand. You hold out a treat. They sniff it and walk away. Or they take it so carefully, they're barely touching your fingers. Most owners chalk this up to the dog not being hungry or being picky. Here's the real explanation. Dogs almost never refuse food. Their survival instinct is too strong. When a dog consistently declines treats from a specific person, especially when they'll take the same treat from someone else, it's not about the food. It's about the hand holding it. A dog who trusts you and feels safe with you will take food from your hand readily. The exchange is comfortable. Your proximity during the handoff isn't something they're managing. A dog who hesitates or refuses or takes the treat and immediately moves away, that dog has an unresolved tension around you. Not necessarily fear, but not full trust either. And trust is what we're really measuring here. Sign 9. They don't bring you things. Think about whether your dog has ever trotted over and dropped something at your feet. A toy, a ball, a sock they found somewhere, something. Studies of dogs' social behavior show that presenting objects to a human is one of the primary ways dogs initiate connection with someone they feel bonded to. It's an invitation, a bid for shared experience. Your dog caught something, and they want you to be part of what happens next. Dogs who don't do this, who play alone, who carry things without bringing them to you, who never initiate that exchange, haven't yet identified you as the person they want to share things with. It sounds small. It isn't. The dog who drops a toy at your feet has decided something about you. The dog who never does it hasn't decided yet. We're coming up on sign 10, and this is the one that changes the conversation entirely. Sign 10. They don't settle when you're stressed. You've had a hard day. You're tense, quiet, withdrawn, and your dog pays no attention to you. They don't come closer. They don't put their head in your lap. They don't position themselves near you the way they sometimes do when everything is fine. Here's what bonded dogs actually do. Research from the University of Vienna confirmed that dogs read human emotional states with extraordinary accuracy, registering stress through facial expression, posture, breathing pattern, and the chemical signals your skin releases when your cortisol is elevated.
Bonded dogs don't just detect this, they respond to it. They move closer. They make contact. They position themselves as a physical anchor in the moments when their owner's world feels unstable. A dog who doesn't respond to your distress hasn't yet built the emotional attunement that comes with a deep bond. They sense something. Dogs always sense something. But they haven't learned that you are the one they're responsible for. That responsibility is what love looks like in a dog. And it develops, but it has to be built. Sign 11. They show you their belly, but flinch when you reach for it. This is the one. Your dog rolls onto their back, belly up, paws loose, and you reach down to rub it, and they flip over immediately. Or they let you touch them, but their body goes slightly rigid. Or they tolerate it for 2 seconds and move away. Here's why this matters so much. The belly-up position is the most vulnerable posture a dog can assume. Exposing the abdomen means every vital organ is unprotected. In the wild, no animal does this in the presence of something it doesn't completely trust.
When your dog rolls over, they are offering you a signal of total vulnerability. But when they flinch at your touch in that position, their body is telling a different story than their posture. They want to trust you. They're trying to signal openness. But the moment contact happens, the nervous system overrides it. That gap between the gesture and the response to touch is the gap in your bond. And it's one of the most honest things your dog will ever show you. Sign 12. They don't check on you during walks. You're at the park. Your dog is off lead, nose down, completely absorbed. And they never look back. Not once. Not to find you, not to confirm you're still there. Scientists call this behavior the secure base glance. It was first documented in human infants. A toddler will explore freely, but periodically glance back at their caregiver. Not because they need anything, because the caregiver's presence is the anchor that makes exploration feel safe. Research into canine attachment confirmed that dogs do the same thing, but specifically with the person they're bonded to, not with strangers, not with other dogs, with their person. A dog who never glances back during off-lead time isn't confident. They're indifferent to your location. And indifference to where you are is the opposite of what a bonded dog feels. Your bonded dog doesn't just enjoy the park. They enjoy the park because you are there. Sign 13. They sleep as far from you as possible. Not just on the floor instead of the bed. On the floor on the far side of the room. Or in a different room entirely. Consistently putting maximum distance between where they rest and where you are. Sleep is the most vulnerable state any animal enters. The place a dog chooses to sleep is the place their nervous system has decided is safest. Research has confirmed that dogs who sleep near their owners, not necessarily in the bed, just in proximity, show lower cortisol levels through the night. Their nervous systems are calmer. They sleep deeper. Your presence, even while unconscious, is regulating them. A dog who chooses maximum distance at night hasn't yet registered your presence as something that makes sleep safer. You're not their anchor yet. You're just another element of the environment. And that is the clearest thing this list has said so far. Sign 14. They've stopped trying to communicate with you. This is the last one. And it's the hardest. Your dog used to paw at you. Used to sit and stare until you looked up. Used to nudge your hand when they needed something. Used to bring you things. And at some point, you're not sure exactly when, they stopped. They don't ask for much anymore. They wait quietly. They seem easy, settled, unbothered. And you've been reading that as contentment. Behaviorists have a name for what this actually is. Learned helplessness. A dog who has repeatedly tried to communicate and been ignored. Not cruelly, just missed, just not responded to, eventually stops trying. They don't conclude that the communication didn't work. They conclude that they don't matter enough for it to work. A dog who has given up communicating with you is not a calm dog. It's a dog who has quietly decided that connection isn't available here, and that decision is the furthest thing from love.
Now, the resolution, the most important part. Here's what I need you to hear. Every single sign on this list is fixable. Not one of them is a verdict. Not one of them means your dog doesn't have the capacity to love you completely. What they mean is that something in the bond hasn't been built yet, or something has worn down over time. And worn down things can be rebuilt. The science on this is actually hopeful. Dogs are extraordinarily responsive to consistent, calm, patient presence. The dog who avoids eye contact today can become the dog who holds your gaze within weeks if you meet their eyes softly and without pressure. The dog who leaves the room when you enter can become the dog who follows you everywhere if you give them reasons to, and stop giving them reasons not to. Stop initiating physical contact and let your dog come to you. When they do, make it the best thing that happened to them all day. Sit on the floor sometimes, not to call them over, just to be at their level, in their space, without any agenda. Wait and see what they do. When they bring you something, anything, stop what you're doing. Receive it. Make them feel like what they just offered was the best thing they could have done. And when they check in with you, when they glance back on a walk, when they settle near you, when they put their head somewhere near your hand, notice it. Because your dog noticing you and you noticing them back is how this whole thing gets built. The bond you want is not out of reach. It is built one quiet moment at a time. If any of these signs landed, if you recognized your dog in 2 or 3 of them, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because most owners are working so hard to love their dogs right. They just need to know what to look for. Drop a comment below. Tell me which sign surprised you most. I read every single one. This was Behind the Bark. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.